I think I'm alive. It's the 21st of June. This is the first time I'm doing a live stream for the daily debrief. So I'm just confirming that I am in fact live, and then we'll jump into the news. Let's just double check here. Am I live? We're just testing this. I think I'm live, but I'm just trying to verify. All right, I'm live. Okay, it's the 21st of June. Welcome to the daily debrief. I've basically changed the format so that we're going to go through everything live so that I can get out more tutorial videos in the future. So let's just dive straight in, and we'll try and make this as fast as possible so that you've got a nice condensing of alpha and you can just get about your day. So Bitcoin, Solana, all the main tokens, nothing really is exciting. Nothing exciting is really happening at the moment, and we'll cover a little bit of reasoning why. I'll zoom in a little bit. Hopefully this is all visible for everybody. So this is from Mags, and basically we have this range here. So if we break down with Bitcoin, then we could jump all the way down here before a rebound is expected. If we stay above this range at present, then we could go up basically. Now I have a theory that we're just going to sit in this consolidation period, and Mags also says the longer it consolidates, the bigger the breakout will be. So just keep in mind that when it is like this, when it's in this crab market, don't lose interest. This is the time just to keep on learning, because it's not always going to be up only. So we've been sitting in this for 15 weeks, just as an example. So cold-blooded Schiller went in 50x this low. I didn't see a screenshot or anything, but this is what he said. And I mean, there are some people that think we're up. It's time for us to go up. Same Pump, however, has said this is pretty bad timing for the Sailor announcement. See you at 62K. He thinks it's going to dip down. And essentially, MicroStrategy, they've gone and acquired all this BTC. It's already happened, as opposed to news that it was going to happen. So they've been acquiring and acquiring and acquiring, and now they've announced. I think the previous idea was more along the lines that, you know what I'm doing? I'm not even sharing my screen. I'm so sorry. We'll start again. My apologies. Welcome. It is, I think we're okay. All right. My apologies. Learning lessons won't happen again. I'm sorry. Bitcoin, everything's relatively okay. So, but we're still in this low kind of period. I've already gone through all this stuff. You've just heard me, so I apologize. Mag says, well, now you just see a visual thing. But basically, if we break down, we come down here and we retest. Otherwise, if we stay above here, we can go up, is the long and short of it. But just remember, in general, the longer it consolidates, the bigger the breakout. So because we've been at this for 15 weeks, I wouldn't lose hope. It could go longer, but don't get disinterested in the market. These things, they just kind of repeat. They rhyme and they repeat. I think we're all good here. Let me just check here. Okay. So cold-blooded Schiller, 50x is low. There are a few reasons for this. And if BTC fails to hold this low, the impulse down is going to be nasty. So hopefully we actually do go up. Same Pump also says pretty bad timing for the Sailor announcement, and see you at 62K. As I just mentioned before, MicroStrategy acquires an additional 11,931 Bitcoins and now holds this amount. In other words, they're not buying anymore right now. They've already bought them. So let's have another look at this, because basically for some people it's going to be your first cycle or maybe your second. And we've seen, Solana, it's gone up crazily and then it's come on down. That's It's just part of crypto. It's part of markets. It's annoying because we want our bags to go up, but it doesn't work like that. But just keep in mind that things range for quite some time. And we're only 60 days in. Like, yes, the halving happened. It doesn't mean that retail is interested. Things go in this kind of cycle. They'll get more and more heated, and then there will be a narrative form, and then it will take over the timeline. Then it'll go onto your mainstream media channels, and then people, all your friends will start to ask. If you've got friends asking you right now about crypto, help them out now, because in my opinion, you're going to be too busy in a few months. So here's another take. Crab next 2 to 3 months, and then end of Q3, start of Q4, we go up again. Crypto top mid 2025. I think it's going to be much later than that, like maybe November. But there will be a top, in my opinion. Of course, nothing is financial advice. So this is what the expectancy is. So now, in my opinion, airdrop farm, learn. Also, if you think this is not going to happen again, like, there is this huge rhyming of things. And the reason why I mention this all the time is it took me years and years to learn that things go up and things go down. There's no such thing as something that's just going to go up forever. And the other thing is true. Like, when things are actually bullish long term and it's bearish, very minorly bearish in the short term, you lose interest. This is not the time to be losing interest. Look at these. 2020, 2023, it's the same structure. Mamba also points out that we have to get over this black line. Get over the black line, and then we're good again. Other things that you want to look at, like when you go to CoinGecko, there is like a big market cap of everything overall. Last cycle, 2.7 trillion. I think the cycle before that, like, I think it just hit over 1 from memory. And expectancy, maybe 8 to 10 trillion this cycle. Now onto some actual news. So 3IQ Corp, I think that's how it's pronounced, they're trying to get an ETF actually put ahead and approved in Canada. They call it an ETP, so an exchange traded product as opposed to an exchange traded fund. But essentially, I think it's pretty much the same thing. And Coinbase will be the custodian for this, should this be approved, or maybe it's already it's not far off being approved, I think, based on their track record, but there's no actual approval at present. So the first Sol ETF application has been filed in Canada. I have no idea really if that's going to make a big difference. I don't really think so. I mean, if it's the US, maybe, but even still, it has to kind of go throughout the markets. We have to be ready, which is more going to be like kind of Q3. If this does get approved, though, that's extraordinarily bullish long term. So Pickle here has some reasons why they're bullish on Solana versus Ethereum. Still, now with Ethereum, there are some people that, they're not happy with what I say. I played on Ethereum plenty, but when you're making tutorial videos like what I tend to do, people get really confused as soon as you have to bridge somewhere, or if you can't see your tokens, or if you have to import them into MetaMask and all that sort of jazz. So basically, we've got one chain. If we start to spin up, 10 different Solana EV or Solana virtual machine environments, it's going to get confusing as well. But right now, we've got this one simple chain. It's faster, it's cheaper, and it's not driven by a single news event. So the kind of narrative last cycle was like ETH 2.0 and ultrasound money. And there were like other metas as part of it, but essentially you can see the growth in the blockchain by the fact that more people can use it. It gets a little bit more expensive due to like the cost of Solana going up and whatnot, but overall more and more people can use Solana, and as long as it's not something like Ore Supply, which was a dApp that just put out a whole lot of spam transactions, it will work. It needs to get better, of course, no denying that though. And then the other thing is there is the MEV aspect that Jito has, so they can capture value and monetize that, which is important in all markets. Next bit of news, Zeta.markets, already covered this briefly yesterday. The eligibility checker is live. Go and check your wallets. But we've got a post here from Tristan, who is part of Zeta.markets. I'm unsure if they are like the CEO or just part of them. Anyway, largely agree with Kobe. Kobe, if you don't know, is a bit of a goat that basically got into Bitcoin and stuff earlier. I don't know what he's worth, maybe $1 billion, maybe hundreds of millions. Essentially what they've decided to do as a TLDR is a lot of wallets just went in to do the minimal amount of effort. And if you are a minimal amount of effort, you will not be getting an airdrop, because at the end of the day, they want Zeta Markets to be successful forever, or, you know, at the very least for multiple cycles, and to have technology that basically allows growth of the protocol. So if you go and reward, let's say $20 million, and they just go and dump it, then that's hurting your protocol. So if you're a low value farmer, you're gone. You will not be getting anything. And I agree with this basis, because it is easy to sybil. Sometimes you get caught, sometimes you don't get caught. And it goes over a few more things, but that's essentially the gist. If you want a decent more bit of information, all these links will be down below after the end of the stream. Now they are actually doing the next epoch. So they had season 1, season 2, and now it's the Genesis epoch. And there's 8 million ZEX up for grabs, and there's a referral program which has been boosted to 15% instead of the usual 10%. Also, there's an ambassador and creator program with ZEX rewards coming soon. So as someone that creates tutorials, as an example, I've done a few on Drift. I've never received like anything, not even a thank you, not even a retweet. Now I brought that up with their CEO just because content is king, and it takes a little bit of time for like marketing teams to learn. And that's fine, because in the Web 2 space, you probably don't have to do that. In Web 3, there's less creators, you have to do that. But the fact that they've already taken this initiative, whether or not people jump on it, depends on the rewards, because content takes a bit of time. It's good that they're actually starting this. So this has already started, just so you're aware. We're now part of this Genesis epoch. So if you are going to trade regardless, maybe you do want to use Zeta Markets to go and grab some of the actual fees. I will have a referral link. It's not below yet, or maybe it is. Either way, it will be. Now, in terms of the actual token price, we'll just zoom in on this. It's 15 cents. So 8 million times 15 cents. It's not a bad amount, but of course, it's really more along the lines of, if you're going to be trading already, maybe it's worth your time to go there. And which is, you know, pretty common, the token price has dropped considerably. Obviously, these first people that were selling these amounts, they did really, really well, but it wasn't a good thing to buy. It's a bit too risky. But we have seen a little bit of a drop recently, but overall, nothing crazy. I mean, markets have gone down in general. I think you need to just ignore this spike. So Jupiter, I'm going to mention this quite a bit, because like Jupiter is doing so many things well, and they're trying to communicate them as best as they can, but there's too much knowledge out there. So trying to condense it into a very short amount of information is kind of hard. So there's 3 core ideas that were presented yesterday: total supply reduction, yesterday being a couple of days ago, extensions of Jupenuary and ASR, and the community eat first. Now, Meow often talks about this, or he started talking about this PPP, like player pump player thing, as opposed to PVP. And I'm getting more on board with it. So I didn't really think it would be able to play out as a narrative, and it doesn't really work at present because it's just celebrity coin versus celebrity coin. However, it is starting to actually play out. And the reason why I think it could be successful is because if you just get more of an alignment between communities, it will work out better and better. As long as the tokenomics are good, as long as people are actively helping and being rewarded in different ways, you'll start to get maybe these clusters of communities that work together, as opposed to just people just trying to tank one, like Bonk versus Whiff, or not that I'm really seeing it, but like MSOL versus GitoSol, or LST's Sanctum versus GitoSol. More of like just trying to grow this pie. At the end of the day, if you grow the pie, I think the base asset, Solana, will do very decently well. As you may have seen or may have missed, the Jupiter team will be staking 100% of the first year cliff for 2 more years to ensure no supply shock. So I don't have the exact details, but It says many people on the team are committing to locking all tokens vested till June 2026. June 2026, we will definitely be bear market, properly bear market. However, dupe is a multi-cycle aspect for sure. Like, I don't necessarily think that dupe's going to go up crazily, but I think when you have dupe and you stake it and you vote and you get part of the active staking rewards, I think the return will be decent. Like, maybe it outperforms Solana. If not, it should be close. It's not financial advice, of course. I just have dupe. If you're not staking it and if you're not voting with it, then I don't actually know why you're holding it, though, to be honest. Long term, though, it's just trying to get Jupiter to align with everything. And as also what I just mentioned, PPP starts from the team, so player, pump player. The community eats first, the chefs eat last, dupe for dupe. This is like chefs eat last, like, you know, you serve everyone else and then the builders kind of take the cut at the end. And because they're not VC funded, they don't have to worry about VCs taking any profits. What this does for the dupe price short term, I don't know. What I am actually doing is just like a value average and a dollar cost average with USDC going into dupe. Just small amounts, just buying a little bit every day. Potentially that will also qualify for Dupeanuary rewards next year. Next bit of news, Meteora. So if you're playing amongst Meteora, you can use this unofficial but useful link. It does have a couple of glitches, but it does work. Link will be below at the end of the stream. And this is one of my tutorial wallets. And nothing crazy. And it doesn't necessarily work, but you can see 500,000 total points with this. Nothing crazy. Like, definitely nothing crazy. I would be aiming for like 50 million points would be really, really good. Now, I mentioned this the other day from Prosper. Added 50 SOL plus equivalent value of DJT to Meteora pools and then absolutely made bank. What they actually did was they'd use the dynamic pools, not the DLMM. So I chatted with Brother. This is Brother. You can go and follow this person here because they're a bit of a degen in a good way. Sometimes they do really well. Sometimes they degen a little bit too crazily. They've got a challenge on at the moment as well. And that is follow this wallet and you can see what they're kind of jumping into. Maybe we'll just go flick it into here. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but worth following. Anyway, Brother had done all of the on-chain checks and stuff, and basically there was no rearranging of anything. They just put it straight into a dynamic pool, so it did really well. As I've shown you before, I'm currently in this USDC and IO pool, and I know people want to know, like, you know, what pools do we go into when, and some sort of strategy, and it just takes more effort. So I'm speaking to Brother and also Sash to see if they will help with, you know, basically leading us. But these things move all the time. It's kind of like just trading because you want to jump in and jump out pretty quickly. You can go and follow people that you find have a bit of alpha, like Prosper. But just in general, it's, you know, it's a little bit challenging. It takes up quite a decent amount of time. So I'm below my cost basis, but I've earned some points, which is good. And as I mentioned before, if we just go back to Meteora here, the actual pool that Prosper jumped into with DJT and Sol and absolutely printed was a dynamic pool. Now, it doesn't always come up. You can go and create it. But here we are. We can see it, DJT and Sol. They did very, very well because one, the liquidity provider fee is 6% and the actual yield is insane. This is over a year, but still it's insane. The volume at the moment, it's kind of come down considerably, but the fee's pretty decent. The reason why they did so well is because like BonkBot and all these bots, people change the slippage. And so people put through insane amounts of money, like, you know, 100 grand, and then they took out like 10 grand or whatever because their slippage was just wrong. They made mistakes. Either it was BonkBot or another bot, or maybe their own custom bot. Either way, MEV people would have actually profited really well, but also the actual liquidity pool would have done very well. So I need to cover that, and it's on the list of things to cover. Otherwise, I'm just sitting here, I'm up, and I'm just rearranging, but maybe I should put some funds into that dynamic pool as well. It's kind of past its point. It had its, like now would actually be potentially a decent time to withdraw the funds and just like, I've made a little bit of profit, bank the profit. But at the same time, it still has, like there's still like a non-zero chance that Baron Trump is connected to this. Next bit of news, Grass. Welcome to Grass Summer. So Grass is a similar thing to Uprock, where you turn on Grass and you share some of your network bandwidth that goes and checks random websites, and it feeds that back to an AI. It has actually massive product market fit, and like it has a lot more attention than Uprock. I do dig Uprock. I've told people why. I'm not going to reiterate on that. It's a low token price right now. I know we're after like a decent token price, but they have users. As soon as they can start to sell that data, I think it'll be decent. With Grass, the last I heard that they were trying to raise at a very substantial valuation, and I don't know if that's going to work. Either way, the actionable is simple. If you're using Grass, if you have extra bandwidth and you're using Grass, you have to go to the rewards tab and connect your Solana wallet. And if you don't, then you're probably going to be not getting the extra points. Also, they have a Grass app store. You can go and download a standalone kind of community node, and it receives a boost. Because up until now, you've been doing a Chrome extension. These sort of things, I just prefer to be extra safe, and I wouldn't put this onto a computer that has, like your hot wallets and stuff. I don't anticipate any issue. Like a Chrome extension is one thing; it kind of runs in the sandbox of Chrome, and the risk is very, very low. And I personally do use it, but I wouldn't put this onto my computer unless there was like nothing crypto related. But if you want to do that, you can do that, and you go and get a boost. Also, make sure you go and actually connect the Solana wallet to your rewards tab, and then you have to confirm with your email. Otherwise, you may be just purged, and then you won't get any airdrop. And if you want to install the node, I have a referral link below. Go get amongst it. Next bit of news, Magic Eden. They had these tickets. These tickets were created back in 2021, and they're part of the DAO. And they have given some use case to them, which is turn them into diamonds, which current valuation means that one diamond could be worth this amount of money. However, they just fell off a cliff. They were like 2 SOL and just bam. So maybe this is a good time to buy them. Maybe it's a good time to sell them. I have no idea. I've got a couple. But it's kind of annoying when you pivot like this. But for whatever reason, they decided to do it. Next bit of news here, Holdium. Now, this is a new meme coin coming your way, and I have to do a bit of a deep dive, so I've got a researcher on this. But if you do not have a Chapter 2 pre-order, maybe it's worth grabbing one. I've got a referral link below. Please use those referral links. And 5% of the Holdium supply will be distributed. Just as a quick kind of summary on what this is, it's a new meme coin. They have to diamond hand things. If they sell the meme coin, then they cannot actually collect the next tranche of rewards. And I think they're going to use Streamflow. So I'll be able to tutorial all that. It's not going to be difficult. I have no idea like what the distribution is like in terms of the team and whatnot. And I also don't necessarily think that the actual name will do, like it's not like, I have kind of a thesis that you need to be some sort of animal in order to gain more traction. Dog with hat, bonk, Shiba Inu, Doge as an example. But sometimes these things do well. And I mean, it's a clever idea. And ultimately, at the end of the day, if we're going and buying like Daddy, Mother, DJT, if someone comes out with a clever idea and makes it a little bit more fairer and creates some sort of diamond hands movement, like what we saw with GME back in 2021-ish, then maybe this does well. Who knows? Next bit of news, Bitstamp, which is an exchange I've never used, but Bonk is now live on Bitstamp. And if you don't know already, they were just bought by Robinhood. So Robinhood owns them, as Cadence points out. So Bonk will be available to more people, which is bullish. Here we have Syndica, and this is a deep dive into Solana deep dive. So into Solana DeFi. Meme coins versus non-meme coins in DEX volume. This is very important because like we need to see this trend. I didn't want to cover meme coins, and then I was kind of forced into it because the timeline was asking, and we can clearly see that there is a more of a move into meme coins, and this is just the amount of volume that's actually doing meme coins. With Radium as well, it's primarily just all meme coins because you can create a pool very easily. Radium's also just been growing and growing because of the fact that they cater to meme coins, and on and on and on. Long story short, meme coins are very important, so that's why I need to put more attention to learn them. Marty Party points out some things on Teleport. Teleport doesn't have a token or anything like that. They're still very much in the building stage. They are like Uber, but in more of a decentralized way. And why do we need this on a blockchain? Basically, Marty Party says, I can pay you in Solana. It's cheaper. Nobody gets a fee except the validator. With Visa cards and Uber, there's about 5% money friction. There may be more things than that, and I imagine Teleport's also going to have some sort of... Let me just get a bit of water, sorry. I imagine that Teleport will have some sort of credit card offering. Not entirely sure on that. But either way, they're doing it so that they take 15%. Wait, this is Trip. Is this something different? I think maybe this is a different tag. I'm unsure. Either way, Teleport's taking less of the fee than what Uber does. Uber's quite aggressive there. I don't know how many countries, how many cities it's in, but it's in Austin. It may only be in Austin. If you're in Austin, Texas, give it a go. If you're going to use it, give it a go. There is a Deep in Meme Coin Summit in New York City in July. It's nothing too official, but I think the Solana Foundation is actually hosting it. So DM this person if you want to join. If you're in New York in July, give it a go. Now, Hamster Kombat. This is on the TON network, and this is honestly not me trying to shield something. These guys have seen crazy growth, absolutely crazy growth. I do have a referral. Please use it if you want to play it. It's quite an addictive game. I might just quickly pull it up on the phone, but no, I won't. But basically, this meme coin that's going to come, I think the people that actually put in a decent amount of time just playing it, just having a bit of fun, that get a decent score, will end up getting probably a decent allocation of the meme coin. And if you didn't already know, basically the fastest growing YouTube channel in history, as far as I'm aware, and Twitter just insane. And mostly, of course, because, 99%, not because the content's good, because it is actually not bad content, but more because of the fact that it's incentivized. And I think TON network could do pretty well as well, just because so many people actually have Telegram. Now, if you are actually using this, you've got to do a couple of things every day in order to maximize your bonus. So I'll link to this person below, Sleek True, and basically you have to put in like a daily cipher, which gets you more tokens, and it doesn't show it here, but maybe it shows us on this one here. You have to do all of these different cards, which gives you 5 million. If you're playing this game and if you're not doing these things, then it's probably not worth it, in my opinion. Onto the actionables. So we've got two types of actionables today. Make this full screen for you. First one is check out Camino's MSOL Sol Marinated Incentivized LP. Use dupe value average to add Sol at these levels. There's a 0.1% value average fee. It's not shown in the UI, but that does actually happen. That is part of it. Your Magic Eden tickets, the floor price has dropped. Maybe it's a good time to buy a sale. I have no idea. I'm just going to hold my couple. And try Teleport instead of Uber if you're in Austin, Texas. You may as well give it a go. I mean, these sort of things are likely to have a token in the future. Maybe you can airdrop just by giving it a go. But also, like, this is the end goal, like actually having proper deep in systems that use a blockchain. So I would definitely encourage you to give that a go. And then I have a new type of actionables. I'm listening to the feedback. I'm trying to put as much of the feedback in as possible. But here's some airdrop actionables. Check your Zex claim. If you missed out because you didn't do it enough, then you know for next time you have to do more volume. Connect your Solana wallet and set up a node if possible with Grass. Remember, if you have like a dedicated PC that doesn't have any hot wallets or anything, I think the risk is very low, but just it's better to be safe. With dBridge, aim to get like 20 to 30k points. It'll be quite a bit of back and forth, but I think it'll be worth it. Plus, dBridge is legitimately the best bridge I've ever used by far. It's absolutely amazing. Check your Met points using the checker, just as so you know where you're after. Like 20 million points, 50 million points. Probably going to be a decent amount of effort to get there, but I think it'd be worth it. And try Hamster Kombat with my referral. This is like one of the things you go to the toilet, you play on the game, you have a bit of fun. And pre-order your Solana Mobile 2. I do think it's plus EV in the long run. Referral link is below as well. Already from like pre-ordering, the amount of airdrops I've got has covered the cost of the phone. The phone will come out next year, like June is the expectancy. And with the Holdium airdrop, it's not going to be necessarily crazy because it'll be over 100,000 Solana Mobile 2 pre-orders already, but you need to do it by like July 12th or whatever that date was. Anyway, that's all the news. The reason why I'm doing a live stream is just because it's faster. It doesn't require any editing. I need to get better at speaking, and then I can put that extra time into trying to get more tutorials out. So thanks very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts below, and catch you in the next video. Cheers.